To some more updates around what's happening and buzzing across the continent. Africa has been challenged to take advantage of local ideas and local products combined with international technology solutions and the vibrant and available youth demography to modernize agriculture and get rid of poverty. Well, this is a critical initiative considering the challenges that have come with climate change, technological advancement, cultural dynamics, and approach to food. Well, the need to feed a growing population worldwide, with another 2 billion people predicted to be on the planet by 2050, mostly from Africa. This was the message at this year's Agro 29 Conference exhibition that just concluded at the University of Nairobi's College of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences. Well, our guests to discuss the outcomes of the conference are Hilary Nyang'ang'a from the Department of Agricultural Economics from the University of Nairobi, and Michael Wallace, the CEO of Bibe, a Finnish agri-farm that was also part of this particular conference. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us this afternoon on Bottom Line Africa. Let me start with you, Dr. Hilary. This conference comes at a time when African governments are struggling to boost food security. Right now, we are an insecure country if you look at the food issues that the country continues to face. Perhaps, what were some of the key highlights for you from this conference?
Thank you very much and for this opportunity. We had a great conference where we had so many innovations coming in from ingrown scientists locally and all across Africa. Yeah. And some of the key areas that were really coming up very strongly was one is areas of agri-entrepreneurship. Yes. How do you make agriculture a business? 7% of Kenyan farmers are subsistence farmers, and in most cases all they do is to grow what they can consume. But then how do you revolutionize this so that they do agriculture as a business, that they can generate some income for themselves and at the same time have something to eat? Yes. Another solution that really came up was on the post-harvest handling, which has also been a key challenge in Kenya. After harvesting, we lose a lot of grains.
Actually, it's pegged at about 40% of post-harvest losses. Yes. Every harvest, you lose 40%. Exactly. What does this translate to at the end of the day? Because it's one thing to have a conference, it's another thing to have tangible solutions that can be implemented that do not just sit in the libraries.
Actually, that's a good question, and thank you for asking that. Yeah. One of the greatest challenges that we have in this country is the 2010 Constitution that devolved agriculture extension and left research and innovations with the national government. And these two governments are autonomous. And therefore, the communication of innovations from the research institutions like the universities, University of Nairobi being one of them, to the extension offices which are at the country level, the communication line has been broken. So we, as the academicians, we can develop the innovations. But then the dissemination from our shelves to the extension offices are lacking. Somebody needs to think about this, to fix this in the Constitution. But again, going down to the county levels, the statistics says is that we have one extension officer serving 1,500 farmers. Yes. That means even if the extension officer was to get the information at the right time, they would not be able to disseminate this information to all the farmers. Okay? Yes. In addition, the budgetary allocation to agriculture at the county level and at the national level has always stagnated, if not decreasing. So how then do you proceed to employ more extension officers to do this? The solution to this is technology. Technology. How do you communicate this information to the farmers using technology, given our weaknesses that we have within our systems? You
raise very interesting aspects, and I'm sure that Michael Wallace, who in your language, I understand you say Hilva Itlapava for good afternoon.
Yes.
Perhaps from your side of things, we are seeing very interesting aspects being brought about by Dr. Hilary. From your end, you come with a background of financial technology, fintechs, which have been the missing ingredient in sort of trying to reform agriculture, especially in this part of Sub-Sahara.
Yeah, I mean, my background is in fintech, but I've been very involved on the agricultural technology side too.
Yes.
And it's a question of putting all these pieces together. So, you know, and we're coming from Scandinavia. We've got very good backing from the government there. So Business Finland has been very involved in what we're doing together with some of the universities there, as well as the venture capital from Stockholm with Antler, for example. But the key thing here is to build technology that is scalable in Africa and that the African market needs. So whether it be fintech, whether it be agricultural technologies, this is really key. So Bibe, the company that we formed and we've now launched into Kenya, called Bibe Kenya, our platform delivers really, really critical solutions for communication, coordination, and then most importantly, optimization for agricultural solutions. And the key thing here is to get these, let's call it sophisticated technologies, to small, medium farmers to give them the tools at a touch of a button on a mobile phone, so they can access this technology in a very simple way to increase the yields of their crops, or more importantly, some of their poultry crops or cattle crops. And just with that little increase in yield, we could have a massive impact. So we want to bring that technology here. We want to partner with key people. For example, University of Nairobi has been a fantastic partner. But the key ingredients of all of this, whether it be government funding, government support, is the private sector. And creating entrepreneurship through private sector involvement to really help farmers become the entrepreneurs that they already are. Especially the small farmers. So we've got this notion of precision distributed farming, which might sound very technical, but actually it's the way farmers in Africa farm today. Okay. Precision and then distributed. Lots of farmers using these optimization tools to pool together their power to create, let's say, aggregate demand and supply, and to really create this mass of productivity together.
All right.
So competition through cooperation of all these farmers.
And so, Dr. Hilary, so what is the role of academia in all this? Because when you look at implementation, it all boils down to bringing it down to the level of the average Kenyan. I know of a few friends who've ventured into farming. They burnt their fingers. They just assume that we just need to lease a piece of land, do the land preparation, do the planting, and wait for the rains. But these are people who are very well learned, but they're not giving it the due seriousness it deserves when it comes to modern day agricultural practices. So how can academia link with such developers and such organizations to help the end product to be something that is palatable to the common man?
As a university, our key role in supporting farmers, to be very specific, are two. One is to undertake research in agriculture and to come up with solutions that solve the local problems. And two is to disseminate that information to the farmers through private-public partnership, and again through our traditional extension models. So in line with that, we are looking forward to partnering with companies and other stakeholders like BABE to develop homegrown solutions. For example, if you want to do distributed, what did you say, Mr. Mike?
Precision distributed farming.
Precision distributed farming.
Correct.
Then that solution that is going to bring together the ability to actualize the precision distributed farming has to be local. So we have to partner with them, and if at all, then we have to develop a platform that the platform has to incorporate the needs of our local farmers and has to aggregate the needs of our local farmers and along the entire value chain to get a local solution. Actually, we're actually late to do such kind of a solution.
All right.
This is the only thing that is going to help our smallholder farmers to commercialize their agricultural.
And speaking about untapped opportunities, you've recently set up the office in Nairobi. What are when you look at your crystal ball, what do you see in Kenya, especially now that there's this proactiveness where people are really keen on embracing agriculture as we wrap up?
So I'll just have to, follow on from Dr. Hillary. What we see is that the knowledge and the solutions are local. There's incredible opportunity and skills already with these farmers. They just need to be given the framework within which to, let's say, upgrade their skills and become entrepreneurs. And, really, this is really, really crucial in terms of becoming entrepreneurs. The local product, and that you said about taste, I believe that some of the local produce, and I'm going to take the Kienji chicken as an example, this is gold in Kenya. This is something that can be exported all over the world.
Yes.
And the skills for growing those organic poultry sits with the local farmers. So if we distribute this knowledge and we get the power of the market of all these farmers together and create the environment where they produce a product that can be exported all over the world, and not just all over the world, also into Africa, we could take Kenyan solutions into the rest of the world. So this is really important. And I will say this one comment. If Bill Gates didn't have his $76 billion today, what would he do? Mm-hmm. He would grow chickens. We need to feed 2 billion more people on the planet by 2050. And the best source of cheap, organic, safe protein is something like the Kienji chicken, born and bred and developed in Kenya, and the farmers that know how to produce that chicken. So this is an incredibly valuable thing. So when we look in, I look in and say, wow, look what Kenya's got. This is incredible. How can we help Kenya produce this chicken on a large scale, precision distributed farming, and export it all over the world?
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your very